Welcome back to our channel, Hume's Little Homestead. I'm Katie, my husband is Ryan, and we are growing our family and building our little homestead. guys seem to be getting along just fine. My ducklings and my bantam chickens. The ducklings are still on starter. I have been looking everywhere for finisher grower, but I think they don't sell it anymore because I even looked online and it just recommends continuing feeding starter grower for ducks until 8 weeks, which I was kind of panicked because it's totally different than my normal routine, but I am just going to go with it because finisher isn't for sale anywhere. Let me know if you have had better luck in your area. I feel like they discontinued the product, which I'm really sad about because I love finishing them off the last 4 weeks for ducklings on finisher. Grower finisher is what it's called. But it says starter grower has everything they need for the first 8 weeks. So when usually I switch them around 3 to 4 weeks when they got this size to the finisher. Anyway, those bantam hens, they were my broody hens, and so I like them being on chick feed because when broody hens go broody, they lose quite a bit of weight, and I could tell they just weren't as healthy as they could have been. So this chick starter, which if they had chicks with them, they would be on this anyway because it's what I would feed the chicks. So this will help them gain their weight back, and they won't be laying eggs for a while. Broody hens don't lay eggs, so these 3 all stopped laying when I let them sit. And anyway, this feed will help them gain their weight, and then I'll switch them over to layer feed, and they'll lay eggs for me again soon. But right now we're just getting their health up. Everybody gets fresh water in the morning, so they're all happy. Oh, and the white powder I put in their feed is the niacin, or niacin, I don't know, I think it's niacin. It's just a vitamin that helps their wings develop correctly for ducklings. Again, it's not going to hurt my older hens, but it's very important for ducklings to have that vitamin in their diet so that they do not get angel wing. That is how I've prevented it, and I've had success so far. And their wings look really good. They look like they're developing great. Get layer pellets and a little bit of oyster shells and half a scoop of scratch. I just had an epiphany. Also, I use this baby pool for their water because it's very hot and I just want to make sure that they all have water at all times. But I had an epiphany. I have been putting all my baby chicks in the smaller area, and then I've been having to collect my eggs out here in this run. But I've only got 6 chickens here and 19 in there. So I'm going to move the 19 out into this run this week. And then at night, I'll do that whole process over again of moving everybody around in the morning until we can figure out what's digging in and killing things in here. And like I said, it only happens at night, so they're safe here in the day. Fingers crossed. So far, they've been safe in the daytime. But I am going to be switching my flock over to Easter eggers and olive eggers, so that is exciting to me. So these ladies I will obviously keep, but as they get old and die, then I'll be cycling them off to olive eggers and Easter eggers. If I like them, we'll see. This is my first time trying them, those 6 little chicks that I'm babying in there. And I have a friend who will sell me a rooster for $10, so I'm really excited about that. But for now, this guy's here to stay, and these 5 hens are really good layers. They've been great hens. I just have a mix because I really like all the colors. But I think that I want to have just a laying flock, and I just want to start narrowing down and just breed one type of chicken. And I think I'm going to narrow it down to either olive eggers or Easter eggers. So I'm excited about this. Anyway, the pool. I had the pool in here for Lucky Ducky, who unfortunately was eaten and gone to ducky heaven. Eaten not by us, by some kind of animal that got in underneath our coop. She was sleeping over here. I closed everything up at night and I thought, oh, she'll be fine out here. And that same night, that whatever got in, a badger or a skunk, got in and ate. Lucky Ducky also got my hen and her chicks. So I don't leave anybody out at night anymore. These bantam chicks I've been leaving out at night because they roost up high, so they should be fine. They've been fine the last couple of days, but we did get a game camera to set up. Anyway, the pool was for Lucky Ducky, and I noticed that the chickens actually love having that much water, and they don't get in or drown or anything. If they were younger chicks, then I would be more worried. Like, I would never have this kind of water in with my chicks that I have in the coop. But these older hens, they seem to know what they're doing. They don't get in it. But they enjoy having a big water source, especially where it is so hot where I live. The garden is looking great. We have been so fortunate to have some very good weather for garden this year. We haven't been battling very much. I'll show you my little blackberry bush got a little flooded. This is the only blackberry bush that I am having any success with, and it's only this tall, but I'm celebrating it, and I hope that it will continue to grow and just get out of control and get wild like everybody says theirs does. So hopefully that will happen. Here's my onions. I dug out this to get them more water. I think that was the problem. My onions and garlic were struggling, so I dug some trenches to get them more water. I have some flowers at the end. And then the onions that my neighbor gave me, they didn't really transplant well, but I'll keep watering them. We'll see what happens. The asparagus is doing great. I have little baby asparagus popping up everywhere, and it is just the most exciting thing ever. What is that? That looks like a cucumber. And the carrots also look great. And I weeded this. I don't know if I have showed you what I've done here. I weeded all of this. I planted Clemson okra right here, Clemson spineless, and then I planted my burgundy okra right here. I also planted some okra down in this row. I haven't planted this trellis yet, but I've decided I'm going to do the golden wonder beans along here, and maybe some more of the green beans, but that's what's happening here. I got this row almost completely finished. I'm going to be adding one more black cherry tomato plant that I found. I thought that I had sold it, and I was so sad because this is the other black cherry tomato plant I had. It's really small, if you can see. And I thought it was the last one I had, and I thought, oh man, I accidentally sold my bigger one. But I found it, and I didn't sell it. So what is going on here? I wanted to tell you about these milk jugs. So these tomatoes that I planted out yesterday, there's 3 of them, they were not hardened off well. So I just put these floating above them. It's not going to help with like humidity or anything. And the temperatures are warm enough that they can be out. But you can see that it's casting some shadows over them. This will help them so that throughout the day, they're not getting totally full sun yet. And that way, since they weren't hardened off, it will help them to get hardened off slowly out here. And it should work just fine. This one's nice and in the shade this morning. You can see it's nice and shady for it. So after a couple days, I'll remove these and they'll be ready to be out here full time. I'm going to plant the last black cherry tomato plant that I found right there. So I'll have 2 in this row. But those were the tomatoes I really wanted to try this year. A variety that I haven't tried. So that milk jug trick, I did it above this one. And last year I used cardboard for this. I just used dowels and little pieces of cardboard and literally just made them like a little gazebo type thing over each tomato. And I left it like that for like 3 or 4 days, and then I removed the cardboard and they were ready to be out in the sun full time. It just blocks that afternoon sun from getting right over top of them, which is the hottest sun. Other than that, everything else is just looking fabulous and I am thrilled. Some of these marigolds volunteered over there, so I just pulled them up like weeds and put them in places I wanted them. And they did well with that transfer. So I'm excited. Marigolds are so hardy. And I'm sure I'll have millions growing in here and I'll be plucking because there was just a lot of marigolds in my garden last year. I'm not going to go through every variety in this video. I just wanted to show you how the plants were acclimating. And they look, oh, I'm just so happy with how they look. Their coloring is good. I did plant something new here. I planted English cucumber. I decided this will be our English cucumber section. And I planted my mammoth dill. Hi! How are you? That flower is just so pretty. I have to get a good view of it. Look at that. I think it might be broccoli. Can't wait to see what it is. And now I finally think I figured out brassicas. Everyone says they're a cool weather crop, but every time I plant them out in cool weather, they die. Like the freeze kills them. So I think they might be more of a warm weather crop where I live. Just look at these tomatoes. They look so good. My nasturtium. After I told the kids that they were edible, they've been coming out and eating them. But it's okay. I think it's going to turn into a nice big plant. Now, the last thing I did yesterday, well, one of the last things, is I decided to plant my herbs. This is not an herb, this is a weed. There's sage. I decided to plant my herbs along this row because it always gets the watering. And they look like they're going to do great. So sage, chamomile, oregano. I'm going to get a close-up of the chamomile. I think it's beautiful. I also saved some to have inside in a pot. I believe that's mammoth basil, green dream parsley, spicy saber basil. That's Italian parsley. Sweet basil, green dream parsley, chef's trio basil. These were from seeds I saved last year. Not sure if they're going to grow true to type. But so far, the leaves look exactly like my plant from last year. Italian parsley, sweet basil, green dream parsley, and chef's trio basil. I obviously will need to weed the rest of these weeds. That's parsley. That's a weed. Parsley, weed. Anyway, that is what I planted yesterday. Last thing I'm so excited about. Look at our pepper patch. So, let me see if I can remember varieties here. These are our sweet peppers, Carnival Belle. And then I put a habanero right here because I only had 5 of the sweet ones and I only have 1 habanero, and those are my husband's favorite. So I'm trying to baby that plant because it's the only one that grew for me. Then we move into peppercini or peppercini, however you want to say that. I have 6 of them. Oh, these rows just look fabulous. I love how they turned out. And then I believe I have this written down, don't worry. What are you guys? It's either Paseo Bajo. I think it's the Paseo Bajo right here. And then I moved to my hot peppers. So I've got Jalafuego, early jalapeno. I've got Santaka. Those are on the very end. They're Japanese hot peppers. And then I have Thai hot peppers. And cayenne peppers. I have quite a few varieties, and we'll see how they do. That one is looking like it has a little transplant shock. See that one? So hopefully it pulls through. It was, oh, and then we have a random tomatillo and an eggplant. Ryan accidentally counted them as peppers, and so I put them in here. And we'll see how they do. Anyway, most everything is looking good. I hope that they were ready. I'm pretty sure they were ready to put out. So, oops, I have one cup that I need to pick up. I'll do that right now. The rhubarb is looking good. I guess when it gets hotter, it's not supposed to do well. So we'll see how it does throughout the summer. It will be getting shade because these sunchokes are going to grow really tall. And I love them. I love that they just survived and came back because they're supposed to be like a weed, and that's what I was hoping for. It didn't really come back right here, but hopefully it will spread. All right, and then around the peppers, I have flowers. So I got these two at Waltz, so I can't remember their varieties, but I put purple alyssum and white alyssum mixed in with these flowers, and then I have my gazania flowers that I was so excited about, and I wasn't sure where I was going to put them, but they look like they're doing really good on this edging, and I think they're going to make a beautiful border for our peppers. I have to cut that grass. I kind of left it because I wanted them to have a little shade this morning, so I did leave that grass on purpose for now. Once they get more acclimated, I'll cut it. And then I put an onion here because I had an onion and I just didn't know where to put it. So, and then again, following the same pattern on the other side, I have white alyssum and purple alyssum and these really pretty purple flowers I got from Waltz. So that's what's going on here. And I think that it looks great. I hope you do too. I had an idea for these little cups because I've been wanting to reduce the use of plastic. I've already started doing it with the ones that were labeled my tomatoes. I dried out all this dirt, dump it out, and I will be saving the cups and using them, and they're already pre-labeled for next year. So I'll just use them to grow next year's garden too and just save them in my back room until it's time to plant next year. So that's what I'm going to do. I also think I'm going to try and save some of my peppers this year. I tried a little bit last year, but I didn't really put that much effort into it. But this year, I think at the end of the season, I'm going to dig up my peppers that do the best and plant them in nice big pots and just have them live in my house so that I'll treat them more like a perennial than an annual. So I'm excited about those two plans, and I wanted to tell you that I'm going to be reusing these cups instead of throwing them away. I'll obviously have to cross off my markings trimmed 0422, but this is a perfect cup to plant a cayenne pepper in for next year. My trees are beginning to bounce back. I don't think they're going to look as beautiful as they did. Maybe they will, maybe they'll surprise me, but I am just glad that they are doing okay and they survived a little bit. I think I will be trimming this dead stuff off just so it looks better. Anyway, I just wanted to give you an update that they're okay. They're surviving. They don't look the prettiest right now, but I think they're going to be okay. I'm not sure I showed you this awesome surprise yet. I have 2 lilies on the edge that have decided to pop up. So I'm very excited about that. There should be 6 more coming up along this spot, so I'm waiting for them. I trimmed the flowers down and they look much better, and I think they are going to bounce back after that freeze after all. Today we are doing a couple things. We are doing our main shopping trip, which I'm a little behind. I need to get on making the list. This is my biggest struggle with menu planning, and I'm super happy I did it last month, so I'm going to continue it this month, but this is where I have the biggest struggle, is just sitting down, making the list, and getting only the groceries on the list. That is like the biggest struggle. But I was going to go over with you on the menu what we have down for June. We picked 10 of the meals that my family liked from last month, so I don't have to learn how to make anything new. So I'm not going to be making anything new this month besides homemade pizzas, but we have made those in the past, so that's not new to us. So I made my menu planning a little different so that on Friday and Saturday I can have a break from cooking, because by the end of May I was getting really frazzled and tired, and it just wasn't working for me to cook every single meal. Maybe in the future I'll be able to cook every single meal from scratch, but right now I need to take it back a notch and give myself a little break on Fridays and Saturdays. So let me just go over the menu with you. On June 1st, we'll have homemade pizza, then chicken and enchilada casserole, then baked potatoes for Thursday, and then on Friday and Saturday of every week this month, we will either eat out or have frozen dinner. If we eat out on Friday, then we will do a frozen dinner like frozen pizza, frozen taquitos, frozen chimichanga, something like that. I know it's not the healthiest, but it is what I am doing. Also, my parents are going out of town for June to visit my grandma. I wish I was going. I'm sorry I can't go with you this year, but we will be making our own meals on Sundays. So Friday and Saturday will be my lazy days. So on June 6th, we have porcupine meatballs. That was a huge hit. We loved it. Then we'll do chicken noodle soup on Monday, carrot rice bake, hamburger pie, sweet and sour chicken with rice. So this is something we used to do all the time, but I forgot about it, and I'm adding that in. So it's almost a little bit like a frozen dinner, except for there's some other things I need to prepare with it. So I'm counting it as a regular cooking from scratch meal, even though it will be packaged sweet and sour chicken with rice, and the rice will be just from regular rice. Then same thing, eat out or frozen, eat out or frozen. Then on the 13th, I guess Levi really liked the fried chicken, but I'm going to try it with boneless chicken this time so that we don't have to be eating around the bones. My family really prefers boneless chicken, which when we raise our own chickens, which we are raising 19 of our own this year, it will have bones in it. But when we're buying from the store, I'm going to go ahead and get boneless because we did not enjoy the meals with bones in it, which is kind of funny. Then lasagna, the meal I got was on Facebook and I shared it. Tomato soup, it's just homemade. And then everybody complained that we didn't have grilled cheese sandwiches with the tomato soup, so we are getting the stuff for grilled cheese sandwiches as well. Homemade pizzas again, baked potatoes again, eat out or frozen, eat out or frozen. Then on the 20th, we'll do meatloaf. Then we will have leftovers, and I'm sure there will be plenty from these 2 weeks. I probably should have put leftovers sooner, but I didn't. I will be eating leftovers every day for lunch. That worked really well last month. Chicken enchilada casserole, tacos. And then we have our anniversary trip. Woohoo! So my kids will be off with the grandparents, and Ryan and I will be eating out those days. Cheese soup, grilled tomato soup, grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup. And the last day will be boxed mac and cheese with chicken nuggets. My kids love that stuff. I know it's not great, but that's the plan. So I'm anticipating our grocery bill being a little higher because I'm going to be getting snack food this time. Last month I didn't. Last month I got like one package of the snack size Pringles and was just like, make it last, guys. And then, I don't know. We enjoy having snack food. It's not very healthy for you, but I don't know. We enjoy it. So I am going to go ahead and splurge and get those things. Also, there's more things like prepared things like the sweet and sour chicken will be more expensive than just getting frozen chicken and then doing it all myself. So that will be more expensive, but I don't know. I'm learning, and right now I just want to I'm going to do it this way this month and see how it goes. If it's like way, way, way more expensive, I might go back. I might cut back and do, frozen dinners only once a week. Frozen or eat out once a week if it gets crazy expensive. So we'll just track. So last month we spent $517 on that first initial shopping trip. And then we had then at the end of the month we broke our challenge and we ate out. So that was kind of funny. But we also got snack food in the middle, and I think we spent about $50 on that snack run for our party. And then I spent $70 at the dollar store, you guys. I was like, I'm just going to get some dollar snacks. And then, so I spent like $70 at the dollar store. So we spent about $700. I would say $700 on groceries last month. So If it's more than $700 today, then I really want to reevaluate and be like, okay, we need to go back to the drawing board and see what we can do to cut corners and save. Not cut corners necessarily, but because the cooking from scratch meals were, I think, much healthier, even though they cost less. So it was just my time and my energy that got so zapped. So we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you posted. But yeah. And it's kind of weird sharing exactly how much my grocery bill was. But we are feeding 7 people. Emmett doesn't eat that much, but he is still a person and he does have to eat. And for Emmett, the milk is the biggest thing. And milk, you know, milk is pricey. It's like $3 a gallon. So it's like, I don't know, that's something he has to have. So it's not like I'm going to have my baby go without milk. You know what I mean? So, okay, let's do this. Oh, the other thing is, so I've got to make the list right now. But the other thing I was going to tell you about is our quail. So I have been, this incubator, oh, it's so awesome. I love your little incubator. It's so great. So it's been holding the temperature perfect. Every time I look at it, it's at 100 degrees Fahrenheit exactly. It's exactly where I set it the first day, and it is doing great. The humidity, obviously, as water evaporates out of the incubator, it goes down, so I add here and there. Last night I added 1 ounce to the incubator to get it to where I wanted it. And I wanted to show you what I'm doing. I'm keeping a record because I wanted to keep like more records, since this is kind of my experiment. This is still the experiment. We're comparing incubators. I wanted to take really good notes and records of this hatch and see how it goes. So like, for example, on day 0 at 8 p.m., it was 100 degrees Fahrenheit with 55% humidity. And then at 6 a.m., 101 degrees Fahrenheit. So actually, the first day I did have to mess with it a little after I added the eggs. So I turned the temperature a little down. And then since then, it's been at 100, 100, 100. I don't know if you can see all my notes. That's a little blurry. Anywho, I'm trying to be scientific here. But since that initial turning the temperature down, it's been at 100 degrees Fahrenheit since then. And that's exactly where I want it. So, yeah, I wanted to show you that. I thought it was kind of fun. I have the world's sloppiest handwriting, but every time I walk by the incubator, I see what time is it, and I check what's going on in there. So last night is when I added 1 ounce of water, and now this morning it's up to 53%, which is exactly where I want it. I want it in between 45 and 55%. In my last video I said 56%, but I meant 55%. That's where I'm trying to keep it, 45 to 55. Oh, this is it. And we are on day 3. So today at 2:30 will be day 4. And that means 10 more days till day 14 when I remove them and lay them down for hatching. And we're off. I'm super excited Ryan gets to do the shopping trip with me because that means we can get 2 cards. The boys are coming with me and Ryan, and the girls, I shouldn't have said me, I should have said we, us. The girls are going hiking with my mom. They'll have a really fun day. Because I was in a hurry, I just quickly jotted down all the stuff that I would like to get on these lists. There's nothing on that is right, but I am going to, while we're driving over there, I'm going to write everything in a more organized way so we can just run in and get everything on the list as we go. A lot of people had mentioned using pickup shopping. I just don't feel comfortable with doing pickup shopping. I know I'm weird, but I just would prefer to pick out our own groceries, go in and get the groceries. I mean, it takes us an hour to get there anyways. An hour and a half to get there anyways, so might as well just walk around while I'm there and do the shopping ourselves. I just don't like the pickup option. I've never tried it, so I shouldn't say I don't like it, but it makes me too nervous to have someone else package up all my stuff. So I know that's a really weird idea, but that's how I feel. I'd rather get the groceries ourselves. Okay, I just finished up. I won't show you, well, I guess I will show you, but my spelling is atrocious without spell check, so I'll just read you the list. So for non-food, I need hairspray, some face lotion, mulch for our pepper garden, cookie cooling rack, French bread pan, paper plates, paper bowls. I don't need those things, but I want those things. Toilet paper, baby wipes, and waters. For cheese, we're getting milk. We're gonna do 8 gallons this month. We're getting ricotta cheese for the lasagna again, American cheese slices for grilled cheese sandwiches, mozzarella, butter, I'm going to get salted and unsalted. We're going to get sour cream, Monterey Jack, cheddar, sharp, medium, and mild, and buttermilk. For sauces, we're getting the Classico spaghetti sauce, canned chicken, green chili, chicken broth, beef broth, tomato soup, tomato paste, Nutella, peanut butter, and jelly, red salsa. For bread, we're going to get sandwich bread, taco shells, hot dog buns, hamburger buns, 6-inch tortillas. For spices and oils, we're getting flour, salt, coriander, rice, paprika, dried sage, breadcrumbs, ground flax seeds, Italian seasoning, dry mustard, brown sugar, Crisco, vegetable oil, cornmeal, chocolate chips, both semi and milk chocolate, semi-sweet and milk chocolate. For the meat, we're getting Italian sausage and hamburger. We're also getting frozen chicken, but I put that in the frozen chicken. And we are getting vegetables, onions, potatoes, fruit, baby carrots. Fruit, I just put on there. We just pick whatever looks good. Also, I realize our family doesn't eat as many vegetables as we probably should. So I'm realizing that. Because that was like the first question I got last month was, how do you keep your vegetables fine? And I'm like, I guess we don't eat that many vegetables. But our garden will begin producing this month as well. So we will have fresh vegetables from our garden. But we really don't eat that many vegetables, which is bad, I know. So for prepackaged and frozen, we're gonna have frozen pizza, taquitos, chimneys, burritos. These are like the frozen chimneys, those little tiny ones. I love those things. Sweet and sour chicken, chicken nuggets, french fries, pepperonis, Pringles, granola bars, mini cereals, instant oatmeal, fruit snacks, and Otter Pops. Last month I didn't get this section, so I am expecting our bill to be a little higher because I didn't get very many. I didn't get any of like the taquitos, chimneys, burrito, those frozen types things. So I'm expecting our bill to be a little higher. I feel really vulnerable sharing our grocery list. It feels really weird to share it, all of it, but I don't know if it can help someone else out with menu planning and budgeting. I guess it's worth being embarrassed or like showing you the weird things that we buy. Also, I find it helps to put everything in categories. So when I'm in there shopping, it goes a lot faster. And I found that last time I had a lot less urges to impulse shop because I had everything sectioned out already. I forgot my pen in Sam's Club, so that kind of stunk. But I am marking off what we got now. It ended up being $705.97. I realized I didn't show my receipts on the last one. What is that one? Just in case you don't believe me. Okay, so at Safeway it was $150. So not nearly as good a savings as last month. I knew it was going to be more because of the snacks and the treats, but I'm definitely a little discouraged because that is a lot more money than I spent last month. So it kind of sucks. All right. Thanks for hanging